in order to thrive in your profession, if you want to be a big fish in the pond, if you say to yourself, I want to be a better mother, a better father, a better businessman, a better salesman, you must learn that growth happens even when there is pain. Growth spurts happen. Sometimes they hurt, sometimes they don't, right? But you want to understand that all growth occurs even in the midst of pain, of pushing, of pressure, of stress. Even when you are learning things, you're putting your mind to work. And sometimes I've heard people get headaches just trying to think too much. I don't want you to run away from the stress and run away from the work that is ahead of you. I want to talk to you today about stress, about not walking away from the problem that exists in the stressful situation that you find yourself in. All growth happens. As you can imagine with me, we're having this backseat conversation. I'm here talking to you right after you probably got stressed out and walked away from a situation that you found to be very difficult to handle. Let me tell you about two types of people in the world, first of all. The two types of people in the world, we got person A and person B, for lack of more creative names. Person A is one who is an optimist. Not because that's how he was born, no, but it's because he developed the mindset of optimism through reading books, through hearing people that he admired and how they were optimists. Person A is an optimist not because he was shaped and came out that way, but because he developed himself and he created the circumstances around him. Circumstances and individuals. In other words, he created a world around him that was positive and optimistic and uplifting. Yes, person A put in the hard work of carefully crafting the world that he was in. In other words, he was the creator of that world that he had. And then we have person B, who is a pessimist, and he doesn't understand how anyone can be an optimist. And person B isn't pessimist because that's who he surrounded himself with. He created this environment that he's in. Not that he carefully selected those, no, instead he passively allowed circumstances, he says, to shape him. So he woke up and he saw how things were bad, and he immediately found reasons to not do what he's supposed to do. And he found reasons to not take action when he was supposed to take action. And he felt bad about this. And he didn't want to take action and improve. He didn't fight to make himself a better person. He did not read the self-help books or books that help his situation out. No, he did not take any of that action. Instead, he just continued to go and grind and make excuses, find reasons. Oh yeah, he got a job, person B did. But he still found ways to make excuses and do the less effort he could. And whenever situations became too difficult for him, he still managed to survive through it and not really thrive in it. He had a pessimistic mindset, a worldview that was very limiting. And he did not, like I said, make and create a world around him that was for his betterment. And those that are around him were not concerned about his growth as much. Not really, actually. They themselves were pessimists as well. He felt very, very comfortable in those circles. Person B didn't really want to amount to too much just to get by. And he found himself a lot of times just being entertained instead of learning. Instead of buying books, he bought movies and video games just for the sheer amusement of it. So there are two types of people here, person A and person B. And so when a situation comes up that is difficult and stressful, person A will see the situation and find a way to make it positive. Person A will find the situation and put meaning to it, even if it is difficult. He knows that assigning a meaning to anything alleviates the suffering. It might even eliminate the feeling of suffering. Person A is one who was already prepared. He's of the mindset that he is not going to be a victim. He's of the mindset that the world around him is going to be better because of him. Like, he will take action to make sure that it happens. Person A is the individual who has a different way of looking at reality. People study person A. Person A is one who doesn't care if people are watching him or if they're not watching him. He takes no mind of that. He's not concerned about people's opinions and their criticisms and their taunts and jabs and jokes. Person A is determined to do what he needs to do. See, before the crisis hit, before the stress came, person A was already prepared with plan A and plan B and plan C. He found solutions to problems before they even occurred. So when a situation would arise, person A already had plans in place to make sure that it didn't happen. Person B, on the other hand, didn't really care too much about making plans. He saw the world as not a challenge to be overcome, but as something to be survived, as a burden to just endure, because that's just what you're supposed to do. He loved comfort. Person B loved comfort so much that he didn't take pains to take pain and improve himself. Person A, on the other hand, prepared himself long before any situation like this occurred. He would go to the gym. He would eat foods that he already studied and knew that it had benefits to him. And he had routines and schedules set up for himself. He had routine and habits that were successful habits. See, person A understood that habits are what make a man, and also bad habits are what could break a man. And so he understood that, and person A became one who made habits to be his servant, you can say. Make the habits work for him instead of the habits working against him. But person B didn't really mind the things and habits that he had developed in his life. So these two individuals come to stressful situations with different mindsets, different world views. They see things differently. They approach things differently. And they are also prepared in different ways. Like I said already, person A is prepared with the mindset. How? How did he get the mindset? Through counselors, through wise teachers in his life that he looked for and actually worked on finding and asking individuals about successful men. And he was also spotting them. And when he spotted someone successful and someone that he wanted to aspire to be, he made the pains to not only follow their Twitter account, let's say, or their YouTube channel or something like that, to try to get their mindset, but he also spoke with individuals in his life that were good role models, and he sought to emulate them, right? So he did that. He set himself up mentally and physically for the situation way beforehand. And person B, he has his friends, his buddies, who are just like him, and they're not going to push him around to do stuff. He doesn't like the uncomfortable feeling of being put out of his comfort zone and stuff like that. And he didn't read the books that helped him improve because he says that he already knows enough. Person B is the one who says, I don't need to know anymore. I already know what I need to know. The days of studying are over once I graduated college, he says. But the person A understands that education is a lifelong endeavor. And we never stop learning, we never stop growing. He once heard someone say that once you stop learning, you stop growing, you stop living, you start to degenerate when you stop learning. Person A once heard that what keeps a man going, what keeps a man moving forward is the meaning that he gives to his life. What keeps a man going forward is moving forward and taking action when you're supposed to be not standing still. Person A understands all these good things, and that's why he continues to move forward in his life. He's not stopped by little bumps in the road. He sees bumps as obstacles to overcome, as opportunities to grow. It's all a mindset thing. A long time ago, that's what they did. I'm comparing to you right now, these last few minutes, the difference between these two individuals, person A and person B. You probably already have figured out what kind of person you are right now as I'm talking to you, having this conversation with you. You probably already figured it out. But before I get to the challenge I have for you, I want to tell you that in order for you to grow, you will have to go through stressful situations, difficult situations. I want you to look at stress and not see it as a bad thing. Who told you that stress was bad? Ask yourself that. Do you think about if you think about it, stress, who told you it was bad? Maybe it was because you had bad feelings, or when people are stressed out, especially person B and those kind of people, when they are stressed out, they lash out and they complain and they get upset, and you've been exposed to that atmosphere, and maybe that's why you have negative connotations when it comes to stress. And it takes times like today, right now, for someone to come around and sort of try to convince you and show you, to open up your eyes and ask yourself and challenge yourself to ask, why is it that I think stress is a bad thing? Who told me stress was a bad thing? You tell that to a caterpillar who's inside of a cocoon, and you see the stress and the effort he makes and the struggle he makes. It's all for a good reason. It's going to become a butterfly. It's a lesson that anyone with eyeballs can see and observe. My little child in preschool can understand that lesson. It's very simple. Not all stress is bad stress, and I believe that if you look at stress a certain way, all stress can be a lesson in some way or another. When you turn up the heat, when the going gets tough, it's not time to retreat. It is not time to hide. When the stress builds up, person A understands and sees that it is time to act. You know, when the championship game is on the line, the leader, in the words of Tim Grover, who wrote the book Relentless, he says the cleaner is the one who takes the ball and makes sure that he gets the final shot. And it's not because of his ego that he thinks, oh, I am the big shot here and I should get the last shot in order to win the game. No, it's not from that place that he says that. The cleaner, the leader, the person who is person A, he takes the final shot. He takes the action. He does the activities needed for success because he has already prepared himself for this situation. He has already molded his craft and perfected his craft. He put the repetitions in. He put in the reps. He put in the hard work, the late night hours or the early mornings. He put in the time. He put in the effort. The blood, sweat, and tears have already been poured, showing his passion, and that's why he's already prepared to take the final shot. He's already prepared to make the call. She is already prepared to make the appointment, to ask for the sale. The person who has been practicing, person A, who has been diligently seeking to make the sale, is ready to present the product with confidence, ready to go and ask for the interview and go job hunting, because he or she has been preparing a while already for this. So when you are called to be interviewed, you will be successful because you are already prepared for this, and you're going to show the potential employer, the one who's interviewing you, how you are going to help them, and you're going to show them how you are going to be successful. Not only that, more than that, you're selling yourself, you're selling your product, your service, I guess you could say, to them. I will bring this to your company, I will do this for your company, I will increase this number like this. And you talk with confidence because you're already prepared beforehand. That's what I'm talking about. The stress of the interview, or the stress of performing at a great 100% level every single day. You don't run away from stress, you run to it, because you are a cleaner, like Tim Grover says. You are like a Michael Jordan in your field, like a LeBron James in your field. It's 2019, so you're like a Kawhi Leonard in your field. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. You have a different mindset. Now, let me tell you, if your inner circle, your friends, those who you are always hanging out with, are those of a different mindset, if you want your mind to grow, if you want your experience to grow, right? If you want to develop your skills in a way where they are at top notch and able to compete, all right, in the market that is very competitive. Listen to me. If you want to improve your skills so much that you are making a good income, a really good income, then those around you must be your supporters. Do you understand me? There's a reason why the home team has the advantage, is because there's thousands of people cheering them on. So when the stress of the moment comes up, the fans are able to still give you the extra nudge to help you get there. I'm telling you, if your friends around you, or the voices you hear on a regular basis, are pushing against your interests, take it from me, or you will find out with experience that that type of influence is not going to help you realize the goals you have. You make your own choice. You have the decision. You have freedom to choose. But I tell you, and many others can attest to this, that those around you, if they are not encouraging you, if they're not working for you, they are working against you. So take it for that. Now let me tell you, when the time comes up, when the stress builds, when the situation gets tense, if you are one who wants to increase in your productivity, if you want to be person A, if you want to be that cleaner, I'm gonna come up with a name for you, okay? But listen to me. If you want to be that person that is not person B but person A, right? Then you must take action now. Prepare your mind now for the onslaught. You have a different mindset and you run to stress, because stress and difficulty has a tendency to shape and mold you to be a better individual. Does it not call you? Tell you, the situation, does it not call for you to be a better, improved individual? In order for you to succeed in that situation, does not your level of skill have to be higher and elevated? Of course it does. You understand that. And with the prevalence of information that you find here on YouTube or other avenues, you understand that now the field is wide open, right? So it's, in a sense, if anyone may come and see how much information is available now to anyone. If you watch this video or you watch other videos and you think to yourself, man, I'm the only one that knows this stuff, I'm the only one listening. No, you got it wrong. There's many other thousands of people who are just like you watching the same video. The competition is only going to get more fierce. especially like I said, with all the information going out. So you must develop the mindset of a cleaner. Read the book Relentless. Watch, search on YouTube for Joshua Rodriguez with an S, and read or watch this video on the book Relentless by Tim Grover. Watch some of my material as well, because that is also like-minded, and we talk about the same things by and large. It's about growing, it's about improving yourself and going into the controlled chaos. The mindset of, even though it's chaotic, or even though it's stressful, or even though it's difficult, like JFK once said, we are choosing to go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is hard, he said. If you adapt that mindset, how different will your life be? You could be a mother, and you could say to yourself, I chose to have 4 or 5 kids, not because it's easy, but because it's hard, and it's going to develop me as a mother to be more patient, more under control, more loving. I love teaching, so now I'm going to teaching them. I'm going to improve myself. You're a teacher in school, and you chose to be a teacher in high school even, not because it was easy, but because it's hard, and you learn how to teach by listening to your students, and you develop and you change and you evolve in a way where you can still be able to teach your students in a way where it's excellent and efficient. And if it's not working, you're not person B who gets discouraged, no, but you're person A who then gets into more books, or you watch more individuals, or you start learning and asking questions so that you can understand what makes a child, a high school student learn better. Any field, just name it. Whatever you're into, research it. Find out how others have failed, learn from their failures, and find out how others have succeeded, and implement the same thing from mindsets to practices. And influence. Find influencers who are going to push you. See, you have the decision to make. You have to take control of this. Just like in a boat. If you're out in the ocean, you want to take control of the situation. Now, if the waves start to build up and the stress increases, see, we're talking about stress here, and we're talking about mindsets. In other words, how you approach stress, how you see stress. If you see stress differently, stress will change, will it not? And we're talking today, right now, we're having a discussion about how stress actually is something good for you if you see it the right way, and if you approach it the right way and respond the right way. Even in stress, even if everything is taken away from you, you still choose how you respond in stress. You think of the surfer, the person going in the beach right now. It's June 21st, and so it's the first day of summer, and you could imagine all these surfers going to the beach, going to go show off their cool slick moves, and they're moving around and in the water with the surfboard, and everybody's watching, taking pictures, trying to put it up on Instagram and stuff. Look how cool I am. Alright? And the surfer though, let me ask you, as you sit here with me in the back seat, in the imagination back seat conversation, and I ask you, do you think the surfer controls the ocean? What a ridiculous question that is. Of course not. So how is it that he does what he does? The surfer can surf and make it look so elegantly because he does not work against the ocean to impose his will on it. No. The chaos that comes is a controlled chaos. He understands it, and he allows the chaos to ensue in order for him to grow through it. So the waves come, he times it perfectly. So in other words, he uses the chaos, he uses the stress, he works with the stress in order to elegantly surf beautifully on that wave and make it a form of art. Flow. You take chaos and you make it work for you, not against you. It's how you look at it. You can see stress and it could break you down. Stress. But if you see it from a different angle, as an opportunity to grow, and you're thankful in it, and you develop yourself through it, and even if you get knocked down and you get, reprimanded for whatever happened in the moment of stress, that does not break you. If they tell you blah 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 happened in this moment of stress and you failed, you are not going to be any good. Even if your boss tells you that, you take it with a grain of salt. Like, okay, just toss it in the bucket. I heard you. It's not gonna affect me. It's because it's just a little drop in the bucket. Really, it's nothing. It's a grain of salt, and that's it for me. You're not going to allow them to give that situation that meaning. You see, if you fail and your boss yells at you and says you failed, okay, that's what they say. That's the meaning they put there. But you say, I'm not giving it that meaning. Though the number did not get hit, does not mean though that I failed. I will fail when I quit, when I decide I'm finished. But in this moment, failure does not mean that I failed. This moment that I did not hit the number means that I will continue to work and make progress with the situation. I did not fail. They failed in giving me a good meaning to this. But now I'm taking control of the situation. I'm going to take action and give it a meaning that's going to empower me to move on. So when I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to have this moment where I think about what happened, and I'm going to be thinking, this is a brand new day to start off fresh. And you did it. You assigned a meaning to the situation, a meaning that empowers you. Never mind what the boss says. That's his mindset. That's his world, his universe, in his head. But you operate on a different frequency. You have a different mindset. If he wants to be person B, let him be person B. But you're different. You're person A. You think differently. You come from a different background. And even if the boss berates you and humiliates you in front of others, first of all, maybe you shouldn't even work for that person. But even if you feel, for whatever circumstances you have to work there, you still are already not only practicing, some of the charismatic traits that I talk about in a different video. I believe it's called Tools to Repair Your Charisma. Go ahead and check out that video on my YouTube channel. But you also have surrounded yourself with a good support group. A group that will support you and encourage you to move forward and not let that bog you down. You are already of a mindset that is very firm in your thinking. Let me tell you that there's a reason why religious individuals, when hardship, comes upon them, they often are not shaken as easily. It's because they are deep into their belief and deep into their mindset. Nothing can shake them because they have formed beliefs over and over again, and they repeat it to themselves certain statements until they are firmly set in their heart, and they believe it and they continue on. And that's why they're not shaken by situations like that. They're firm in that, and they know that no matter what happens, even if the stress results in some people lashing out at you, that they are still going to continue to be firm because they see that there's a community of love around them. They believe in a higher being that is also very I'm trying to find the word, but it's just all loving. I don't think there's an omni word for that one, but it's all loving being that always forgives them, always has their best interest in mind. So the point is though, that because they have that mindset, if they can do it, so can you. If they have that capacity, so can you. When you cultivate self-compassion and self-love and self-talk, again, I speak about these things in other videos. Specifically, I have a video called "The Tools to Repair Your Charisma," and check out the part where I have where I speak about the self-compassion. And the interesting, cool thing about that video is I started to write tags in the description, so you don't have to, go through 45 minutes of audio before you get to the part. Obviously, I understand how easy it is to get lost in long audio formats, but I've conveniently placed timestamps in the description, so you can easily go to whatever topic you want to go to, click on it, and start listening to that part right there. It's gonna really help you, especially I know your time is really crunched, and I appreciate you listening to this. Listen, this was an amazing ride with you here in the backseat conversation. You can hear the bumps in the back of the road as we travel along, you can imagine. But I'm so glad that we were able to have this conversation about stressful situations. I really hope the best for you. I know you can do this. I know you will be able to succeed, because if you continue to fill yourself and your mind up with these kind of words, they will instill in you a confidence to succeed. Now it's on you to continue to put this to practice, as we say. Well, until next time, follow me on Instagram at truestlewis. Follow the links in the description below as they are updated. It's very early on, so there's lots of changes still coming up. And until next time, check out my other videos and take care of yourself.